Now, Evan, what percentage, or let me say it like this, do you think Darwin had enough knowledge of the cell to come up with some of his theories? Because if you could share with us what Darwin believed in his day, what the cell was, compared to what we know it is now, what the cell is now, and also about DNA.
Yeah, it's amazing. The difference is truly amazing. No, you know, in Charles Darwin's day, they believed a cell was a membrane filled with some kind of plasma. And they understood that there must be something kind of complex going on inside, but they couldn't detect what. But they didn't really believe that it was anything that was really, they couldn't have imagined that it was anything like this complexity that we know exists today. A single cell, if squeezed down to the size of New York City, is more complex than New York City, with including its trees and its bees and its birds and its cars and trucks and planes and desks and pencils and everything. That's how complex a cell is, squeezed down to the size, I mean, if in New York City were its size. So they couldn't have possibly imagined. The more complex we see, in fact, Dr. Michael Behe, a biologist at Lehigh, I believe, University, stated that the complexity of the cell is so great that the more powerful our video imaging technology is, you know, the greater we can see things actually happening, not take pictures of, but watch them happening in the cell, the more complexity and interdependence we find in life at the molecular level. It's like an endless sea of complexity. When they think that they have understand a certain layer of immense complexity going on to a degree, you know, or how complex it is, then they find that there are layers of interdependence among molecules and things in the cell beyond those that just completely throw that into a pile of books, if you know what I'm saying. Right. We found another book in the pile, you know. That's how complex it is, and it's stupefying. You know, Bill Gates once stated that the complexity of DNA was more complex than Microsoft Windows. And that's stating a lot because the code for Microsoft Windows is the most complex thing ever made by man.
Now, if that isn't proof of design, people just are not thinking rationally and intelligently. I don't understand how, I mean, it's obviously a bias, but if I can say something without interrupting you, Evan, I believe that when someone learns about evolution, when it's taught to them, spoon-fed to them in a godless, liberal, indoctrinating, government-run socialist public school system, they can become an atheist. However, I believe when you are a free thinker and you research evolution yourself, you become a creationist. And the madness of evolution is that it fails the scientific method again and again.
It does.
And again, it's like, I like your analogy, it's like you're driving out in the middle of the desert and all of a sudden there's a laptop computer there. It's pretty much obvious that it is designed.
Yeah, and it would take less than that to convince you. If you found teepee sticks stuck standing upright without a canvas on them, you know, or, I mean a deer skin, you'd say, that was made by some intelligence left there. You know, you wouldn't believe a whirlwind left it there, you know.
Derek, I want you to close your eyes, my brother. When you think about how Dawkins talked, yes, you know where I'm going with this. How do you picture Dawkins dressed, and what tune comes to your mind when you think about what Dawkins said?
I think of a clown nose.
Yes. Don't you picture him coming out of a little car and then all of a sudden you hear, you kind of like you're in a circus and you hear this. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. It's Richard Dawkins, the man who says God doesn't exist because he receives letters from other atheists saying it's so. I don't get it. Now, here's the thing.
Back to Shock,
yes,
the
Derek.
whole thing with when he's bringing up the fact that, we were planning here, that's not a Dawkins idea. Fact is, that's an older idea that we were seeded here by aliens. That comes from a whole other aspect. The fact is, he's speaking. It's kind of a double talk there because he's speaking out of both sides of his mouth. On here, in other books, he has made the flat-out claim that God does not exist.
Right. He said in some books that God doesn't exist.
Yeah,
now he's saying God could exist. That's madness.
The Bible teaches us that any man that is double-minded shall stumble in all of his ways.
And was he stumbling. Now here's the thing.
Who?
Oh, go ahead, Evan. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Did you notice he said who? And he says, then how do you know who created it, or whatever he said? And Dawkins responded, why do you say who? He's offended by the idea that this could have been created by a someone, not a thing, not matter.
Right. He has Santa syndrome.
No, it can't be a God that did that. No. Wait a minute. What do you mean who? Right.
Now, Evan and Derek, can I ask you guys an honest question? And I know we're live on the radio, but this is a serious question. Do you believe in your heart and mind and soul that Richard Dawkins has Santa syndrome?
Yeah, I would say so.
I do. What about you, Evan? Do you think Dawkins, because I've seen video of him talking about Father Christmas.
Oh, it could be, Rich, because it could be part of it, at least I know, because I have a picture of him in one of my videos where he's standing in front of a Christmas tree, and I put little hominid skulls on it, and say, have a happy hominid Christmas,